Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on your MTN Statewide News this Wednesday. I'm Victoria Hill. Andrea is on assignment. President Biden has said his #1 priority since coming into office is a nearly $2 trillion coronavirus economic relief package. Now he's on the verge of signing the bill into law. CBS's Skylar Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
The House will be in order.
A final vote on President Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package is expected in the House soon.
A once-in-a-lifetime pandemic requires bold investment, and that is what the American Rescue Plan is.
The so-called relief bill will end up costing every hardworking taxpayer in America more than $5,000 each.
Included in the bill is an extension of federal unemployment benefits at $300 a week.
An excuse to expand the welfare state and pay people not to work.
Money to help schools reopen, increase vaccine distribution, and support for state and local governments. It also includes a tax credit of up to $3,600 per child.
This is a good plan that provides direct assistance to the people of this country that need it.
And there will be a new round of stimulus checks. $1,400 for individuals making $75,000 a year or less, and $2,800 for couples making less than $150,000. Those will start going out this month. President Biden will be able to sign the bill into law this week, as the nation marks the 1-year anniversary of the global pandemic and shutdowns across the country.
Our focus now is on the address the president will be delivering on Thursday night during his first primetime address. He'll talk about COVID, what we've been through as a country, and what the path forward looks like.
The immediate focus is on increasing vaccine distribution to reach as many people as possible.
Today, we're averaging above 2 million shots per day.
The Biden administration is purchasing 100 million more doses of the Johnson & Johnson single-shot vaccine. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Biden administration will announce the Johnson & Johnson purchase at the White House this afternoon when the president meets with the CEOs of Johnson & Johnson and Merck. The two competitors have reached an agreement to work together to manufacture a vaccine. And now closer to home, Montana lawmakers are turning their attention to the state budget now that their transmittal break is over. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has more on the next steps for House Bill 2.
On Tuesday afternoon, the full House Appropriations Committee started what's expected to be a full week of hearings on the main state budget bill.
I'm bringing to this committee for consideration House Bill 2.
House Bill 2 is by far the largest piece of the overall budget picture. It lays out about $4.5 billion in state general fund spending over the next 2 years, and billions more from other funding sources. Since the start of the Montana legislative session, appropriations subcommittees have been making recommendations on each state agency's budget requests. The full committee will hear presentations on each of those appropriations, consider any proposed amendments, and then approve the version of HB 2 that will go to the House floor.
Because in the end, this is a product that we will take to the floor and that we are going to have to try to move forward. We have one constitutional obligation, and it's this budget.
Kurt Alme, Governor Greg Gianforte's budget director, addressed the committee as they began their work, urging them to support efforts to address violent crime and health care needs, and to look at ways to use the expected billions of dollars that could come to Montana through the federal stimulus bill.
We look forward to working with you over the weeks to come as you determine how best to use those funds in interaction with House Bill 2 for the greatest benefit for our state.
Tuesday's hearing focused on the first section of the budget, general government. Over the next few days, they'll work through the other 4 sections, with the biggest, public health and human services, set for Thursday. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
After the committee hears presentations on each section of the budget, they'll move on to the next presentation before taking action on any proposed changes to the first section. And now we go to Missoula, where as race organizers give the Missoula Marathon a virtual makeover, local businesses are starting to add up the economic impact. MTN's Russ Thomas reports.
The Missoula Marathon very definitely is one of our largest events of the year. We have people who come from all over the world, not just our country, but all over the world to participate in it. Direct visitor spending from that weekend was over $2.5 million.
Destination Missoula Executive Director Barb Nealon says if you count the trickle-down effect of indirect spending that occurs from business to business from Marathon Weekend, that number jumps to $4.3 million. Local businesses across the board are adversely impacted.
You're looking at hotels that, are not selling those rooms. You are looking at restaurants that are not feeding people. They go to our grocery stores. They go to our sporting goods stores.
While it's impossible to make up all the money that Missoula Marathon Weekend brings into the local economy, Nealon says there are some positive signs that there will be an uptick from 2020. She says Missoula has become more of a leisure destination than ever before, and the investment airlines are making in the community emphasize that fact.
We got all kinds of new flights, into San Jose, San Diego, Orange County, extra flights into Dallas, into Portland, San Francisco. I think that this summer is going to be much better for businesses.
And Nealon says one way to absorb the blow of losing the Missoula Marathon is to shop locally whenever possible. In Missoula, Russ Thomas, MTN News.
Registration for the virtual 2021 Missoula Marathon is underway, and participants will have until June 27th to complete their virtual run. Now, in other news, it is possible an invasive species could be lurking in your aquarium tank. Zebra mussels were again located in Montana, but this time not on boats. Here's MTN's Andrea Lutz to explain.
After one of the busiest seasons for watercraft inspections in Montana,
everybody was stuck at home and they wanted to do something. So we saw a lot of traffic coming into Montana to recreate.
And the successful interception of 35 boats with mussels.
We are working really hard to keep invasive mussels out of Montana.
Liz Lodman with Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks says this new arrival was just not expected.
So having zebra mussels enter in this other unique way was really kind of shocking.
Found at major pet store suppliers nationwide in the form of mossballs.
Yeah, we were notified Wednesday from the state of Washington that they had found that there were zebra mussels in these mossballs. And so we immediately sent some of our staff out to check pet stores in Montana to see if we had that problem as well. And they did find zebra mussels and mossballs in Montana. We found mossballs in pet stores for sale in Billings, Butte, Bozeman, Great Falls, Helena, Kalispell, and Missoula.
But Lodman says luckily all of those found in Montana were dead shells. Still, the danger lurks in aquarium tanks.
There's one distributor that had the problem and it's gone nationwide. So they have found mussels in mossballs from Alaska to Florida. So it's really a nationwide issue.
So after such a busy but successful year of trying to keep invasive species out of Montana,
we just ask all recreators to just do the right thing and make sure their watercrafting gear is clean, drained, and dry.
Another curveball to now watch for.
If you have an aquarium tank, there are guidelines now for how to take care of a mossball if you bought it recently. Aquarium tank owners just, need to take care with how they dispose of things in their tank.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Zebra mussels are one of the most devastating invasive species in North America. They are native to Ukraine, and Lodman says she's not quite sure how Customs missed them.